to celebrate and reflect on the incredible achievements of Dr Elsie Inglis. Presiding Officer, yesterday we marked International Women's Day, where we celebrated women's achievements, raised awareness against bias and took action for equality. It's only fitting that today we celebrate Dr Elsie Inglis by commemorating her achievements to raise awareness against bias and take action for equality. In a period when women were expected to be compliant in a masculine world, she challenged that and became a surgeon, philanthropist, patriot and leader of the movement for the political emancipation of women. From a young age, Elsie showed strength and resilience. Despite fierce prejudice from the medical establishments, she became one of the first women to study medicine in Scotland, and once qualified, devoted herself to improving the medical treatment of women. In 1894, she established an Edinburgh maternity hospital, staffed entirely by women, and at the outbreak of the First World War, organised all-women ambulance units. After being told, "Go home and sit still," by the War Office, she refused. Instead, she raised funds and sent a medical team of 100 women to the front line in France to set up a field hospital, followed by 26 hospital units in several countries. She herself travelling to Serbia to set up 3 hospitals. And today, perhaps because of Dr Elsie Inglis, women are a staple of frontline medical roles. Elsie did not, however, confine her activities to medicine. It's no surprise that she became involved in the movement for women's suffrage, taking on the role of Honorary Secretary of the Edinburgh National Society for Women's Suffrage. She said herself that fate had placed her in the vanguard of a great movement, for which she was described as a keen fighter. Through her involvement, her tenacity and influence continue to affect the lives of all Scottish women today. Presiding Officer, to echo words once used in describing Elsie by the First Minister, she demonstrated women were capable of performing roles that they'd been denied. In Serbia, she's remembered with respect and affection, where there are fountains, buildings and memorials celebrating her life and legacy. In Scotland, with the closure of the Elsie Inglis Memorial Hospital in 1988, there was a risk that she's consigned to history and almost forgotten. We must not let that happen. On the centenary of her death in 2017, a campaign was proposed by the Lord Provost of Edinburgh, Frank Ross, to erect a statue in her memory. Sadly, while there was a list of very notable supporters, the pandemic ground the campaign to a halt. Just like Elsie herself, Fiona Garwood and Thea Laurie decided not to sit still and pursued a pandemic project, picking up the mantle to fundraise and build a memorial in the name of Dr Elsie Inglis. I'd like to offer my congratulations to them both, as it's mustered support from notable organisations and individuals, including medical and nursing organisations, historians and particularly Edinburgh Girl Guiding. I would encourage everyone listening to get involved. I understand there are a number of events on until the 13th of March and have included various afternoon teas across the city and Girl Guiding sponsored Sit Still on the Meadows. Donations can also be made through the Elsie Inglis website. Presiding Officer, statues create a dialogue between past and present. Elsie's kindness, resilience, strength and determination make her an incredible role model for generations to come. I agree with all of those who say that Dr Inglis is truly a revered and treasured figure, not just for Edinburgh, but for Scotland. She deserves to be honoured. Thank you.